This is the Weather Extreme video for Saturday, June the 26th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters, and things have certainly got to hopping in the weather. Let's take a look at our Skycam network. There's the Birmingham Skycam, and looks like we have some high clouds primarily. High clouds also visible from one of my favorite spots, Mount Cheehaw, and the camera up there showing some of those clouds. We're certainly still under a surface high pressure with the main westerly storm track over the Great Lakes area in the northern tier of the United States. However, that may be changing with time. Plus, we have activity in the tropics. The upper air chart shows the ridge still in place across the southeastern U.S. and actually all the way from Texas all the way over to Florida. And notice down there at the bottom right of your picture, a lot of clouds in the western Caribbean, and that is Alex. Let's take a look at temperatures, and it is really warm. I remember last weekend we were showing a good portion of the country in the yellow. Looks like, gosh, nearly what? I'd say maybe 75%, maybe as much as 80% of the country that warm this weekend. Of course, summer officially began this past week. Temperatures across central Alabama running in the lower 70s for the most part. It means we might have a few spots in the upper 60s. QPF-wise, looks like we're in for some rain over the next 5 days as the weather remains a bit unsettled. Slight risk of severe storms across the northern tier of the United States, all the way from northwestern Ohio, across southern Lake Michigan and Chicago, all the way back into North and South Dakota. That slight risk will extend on day 2, will extend from about Chicago across to Pennsylvania and New York and much of the eastern Great Lakes area. And tropics, very active. We have 2 areas. One is Alex, of course, and the other is a disturbed area that is being watched. Let's focus on Alex, and this is the projection from the Hurricane Center. Hurricane Center predicts that it could become a tropical it is a tropical storm, excuse me, and going to be affecting the Yucatan Peninsula as it moves steadily on a kind of a west-northwesterly course. And the model runs pretty seriously grouped here, so it looks like confidence running pretty high that it's likely to stay a fairly low-latitude storm and affect either southern Texas or Mexico. So that's looks fairly good confidence in that. And here we go on the satellite image, and you can see that it is not terribly well organized with just a large cloud mass. But of course, those are pretty potent thunderstorms there in the southwest Caribbean. All right, let's get to the 06Z GFS model run. And here is the upper air pattern for today. And, of course, our ridge is holding pretty tough. But notice there's a pretty strong shortwave trough out there in the northern Rockies, and that's going to be dampening that ridge out. And as it does, we might actually see some drier air and maybe even a few degrees cooler later this week. By Sunday, the ridge is migrated a little further to the east, and that trough in Canada, southern Canada, and the north-central United States in the vicinity of the Dakotas, that is beginning to intensify somewhat, and that puts us still in the pattern of scattered afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. The trough really begins to show signs of developing. Of course, we can see the reflection of Alex down there in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. And so that means that we may actually see a cold front come across the Ohio River Valley. And as it does, of course, we're going to still see scattered showers and thunderstorms on Monday across the southeastern U.S. But that means we may see a little bit more organized activity. The trough and the closed low now begin to still continue to strengthen as it moves into the eastern part of the country, and that brings the front all the way down into the area. Now, you notice here on Tuesday, the 29th of June, the front does not pass the area. Now we've got a really strong closed low over southeastern Canada with a good trough dipping down into the southeast U.S. into Georgia, and that indeed shows the front making its way through the southeastern U.S. Now, the question is going to be whether or not it really does, and of course this is June 30th. By the 1st, we see the ridge building really, really big in response to both the passing east coast closed low and a new closed low and trough coming in on the west coast, and that should maybe bring that front all the way through the southeastern U.S., meaning we could see dew points drop on the order of, 3 to 5 degrees, maybe 6 or 7 is a possibility, and that would certainly make things feel better, and instead of mid-90s, we could be dancing around the 90-degree mark, and of course, that will feel very nice too. On Friday the 2nd, as we head into the July 4th weekend, the ridge is beginning to influence us once again, and then again the ridge becomes the dominant factor on the 3rd, and then on the 4th, the ridge firmly in place, and that brings back the possibility of isolated showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. So it looks like somewhat unsettled, but maybe the hopes of a little bit of a cool down and a dry out. Here's the voodoo country. This is the 8th of July. And once again, we see the building of the heat ridge over the eastern half of the country. And that would certainly mean just isolated, perhaps scattered showers in the afternoon or early evening. And then kind of an interesting pattern around the 11th, still under the ridge, but we've got a couple of little weak lows that are showing up in the pattern. One just to the east of Florida, and another one over East Texas primarily, and so that's going to be interesting to watch. That could be representative of tropical activity, but that's voodoo, and we'll worry about that a little bit later. Well, thanks for tuning in to the Weather Xtreme video. I expect to have the next one posted around 7:30 or so tomorrow morning, Sunday morning. In the meantime, I hope that you have a great Saturday, and Godspeed.
Each day there are new stories to tell about the people who live here and the place we call home.
All of the faces that I see, all of the places close to me, they're all part of all the best things about home.
Sharing your stories on ABC 3340, Alabama's news leader.